You're watching Your Worst Friend Going Deeper, Season 5. Today's guest, adult film star RileyJean. Here's your hosts, Matt and Shane.
You're watching Your Worst Friend Going Deeper, Season 5. I'm Matt, and I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Shane.
Yo.
Make sure you go to yourworstfriend.com to see all of our interviews and follow us on social media at Worst Friend Cast. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by a very special guest. You might know her from such cinematic masterpieces as Young, Fun, and Full of Cum 6 and I Fucked My Creepy Roommate. Both, I think, nominated for Oscars. You can find her on Twitter and OnlyFans at ThroatGodX. Replace the O's with zeros. And on Instagram at RileyJeanX3. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in welcoming to the show the arousing, the provocative RileyJean. Riley, thank you very much for coming on with us today.
Hello.
So, if you would please, how did you initially get into the industry? Was it just a full 2-foot jump into the pool, or was it a gradual thing?
It was definitely gradual, and I always say very accidental. So I started posting onto Reddit, like editing out my tattoos and stuff when I was like 18 or 19. And I got really popular on Reddit to where people were like buying customs from me. So I was like, well, shit, this is like fun. And I'm like, while I'm doing this, I'm also going to school for software development. And I keep this up for a while. I get a job as a software developer, and then I find sexy jobs, thinking that it's just a place to like buy and sell customs.
Sure.
It's not. I was wrong. And I was contacted by Brian with AMA in Florida, and kind of thought it was a joke, because up until that point I was like, dude, there's no way I could, like, there's nothing about me that is like special for porn. You know, sure. I don't have like natural big boobs or like this big natural butt. At that point, I was like 100 pounds soaking wet. So I'm like, there's no way. But I was just like, I'm a very impulsive person. So, you know, he FaceTimed me. He seemed convincing enough. And I said, fuck it. And then like within 6 hours, I was on a plane to Florida.
Okay. Wow.
And so I was down for 2 weeks and the trip went great. I came back and then the COVID hit. Moratorium happened. So I actually went down in my second trip while everything was like shut down and only a handful of companies were shooting. And so I pretty much started like right when COVID hit. So it was like a very slow running start. Like it had some potential, and then COVID happened, and then I would like take breaks out of nowhere. And
when COVID hit, did you feel like it was over at all for a second? Were you like, wow, no. You were all in, you were ready to get back into it?
It was, well, see, the way that it kind of worked out in my head and the way I was able to look at it was like, I came in at 22 with like, I had already had a job. So porn wasn't like an end all be all for me. It was more of a curiosity. And it was like, holy shit, somebody actually thinks I could do this. And to be completely frank, I was just like, I want the merch. I don't care about the other stuff. I just want the merch. And that's it. And so when the pandemic hit, I was disappointed because when I started, I did start pretty well in it. You know, I was fairly popular, and then nobody was shooting. So I was a little bit like, dang it, like bad luck, bad timing. I missed my chance. But I was never like, oh, it's over for me. I just kind of started camming or like posting stuff on OnlyFans, but it was like always something I could do because I had something else in my back pocket if I needed it.
Sure.
So I was comfortable just continuing, even if I wasn't like getting pro bookings at the time.
Shane, did you have a question?
Oh, I was going to say, like, also, I mean, she kind of said that at the end there, like, when the pandemic was ramping up, I mean, that could have been like the perfect opportunity to build up an OnlyFans or a solo endeavor, you know, just because if the main sites aren't shooting, like, dudes still need stuff to jack off to, right?
Yeah, that was funny, but that caught me off guard when I was drinking water. Yeah, so you jumped into, I mean, did you have anxiety going into it, or have you always been kind of just like a free person?
So I actually developed like a really bad problem to anti-anxiety medication in the industry.
Sure.
So I was definitely a very anxious person. But it's funny because I never really focused on building an OnlyFans during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. For me, it was like that also kind of happened by accident. Like right now, my OnlyFans is shit because I'm like I'm kind of burnt out on it. But like my thing was actually TikTok. I was on that constantly live streaming. Like before my first one got banned, I think I was over 100,000 followers on my first one before it got banned. And that, just by having my link tree in my bio before you couldn't do that, I was making me a ton of money on OnlyFans.
Really?
Because I was just like, I could do a stream, and like I would stream by myself in my apartment for sometimes 8 hours and kind of just have it as like a voyeur cam while I'm doing something else.
Sure. Yeah.
So like it ended up giving people a very like personal look at how I live my life. And I think that people kind of come to me now more because of that than because of like my porn videos, which is interesting because it's put me in this spot of like, I don't really know what to do with my OnlyFans and what to do with this like RileyJean brand, because I spent so much of it like online talking and just like, I've always said, like, I've never had a fucking inside thought in my life. So, like, if I thought it, I would put it on TikTok.
Yeah. This is interesting because you're not unwilling to work, right?
Right.
Obviously. But maybe you just don't know. We just had, again, a full hour conversation with a woman who's strictly OnlyFans, has never shot a pro scene, anything like that. And she really was stressing to us the importance of building your niche, your brand. So let's try and do this real quick. What is your niche? What sets you apart from other performers in either your look, your talents, the things you like? Okay, if you were a chick who just loved fishing, there is an OnlyFans for you sitting on a boat with your tits out, fucking looking for bass, you know?
I think what sets me apart, and I could be totally wrong about this, but I kind of think it's two things. And one of them is the fact that like in all of my porn, I'm always like laughing and smiling, and like I never look like I'm like forcing it.
Sure.
So I think that helps. But
authenticity.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I have horrible ADHD. Now my brain's like gone.
Yeah, mine does that all the time. What about?
Oh my god, it's terrible.
How about aesthetically? What is your aesthetic? Do you have one?
No, I feel like it changes so much. Like my agent was just saying how he has more pictures of me than any other girl because I'm like tomorrow I'm getting like little these like little festival braids and fairy extensions put in my hair. Like I just had red hair, and like I'm constantly changing the way I look and like experimenting, I think, with that.
Okay, could that be your niche? Could you be a festival girl?
Oh my god, you just reminded me.
Oh, did okay.
So this has stayed true pretty much since I started. I have a very innocent look, but there are very few things I won't do. Like I cater to some very interesting fetishes.
Sure.
Some obvious, some not so obvious, but I do a lot of things that like looking at me, you wouldn't look at me and be like, oh yeah, this girl like super rough, like impact, face slapping, choking. But like one of, some of my best selling videos are exactly that. And that's the stuff that like I genuinely enjoy, is like the really rough stuff. So that kind of throws people and it gets their attention because I look very vanilla. And then you watch my stuff and it's like, oh shit, I didn't know you did all that. Like,
so that obviously is a great road to go down, but it can also that can lead to levels of escalation where, yeah, you're totally cool doing everything until this fucking comes along and you go, oh, no. Go ahead. What are you going to say? You're into anything.
I experienced it.
Oh, okay. All right, please.
I experienced something very similar. So
someone brought a Doberman Pinscher to the set? What happened?
So, well, that's obviously a no. Like that and like age play are two things that I don't do. I don't do age play and I don't do that, obviously. Like that one's illegal, but age play is just a morality thing for me. But I used to have this thing where I really liked getting choked until somebody who I had trusted, you know, who choked me like this. And my I'm done is let me tap you 3 times. I tapped him 3 times and didn't let go and I ended up having a seizure. Wow. So that kind of blew up in my face because it was, you know, the situation. And this person has come out as like a very known abuser, but like, it was one of those things where the whole point of a lot of these kinks, there's a very psychological aspect to it. A lot of it is exposure therapy. It's regaining control over something you've lost and you want to take back.
Sure.
So in that moment, it definitely, I won't say it ruined it for me. And I still say that there is a lot that I will do. But it's made me a lot more vigilant about like really paying attention to how these people act. Because had I paid attention to this person's behaviors and listened to what this person was saying, you know, that he wanted to do and just the way he spoke about women and everything, I should have, if I was to be paying more attention, I would have seen this is not something like this isn't a kink for you. You just genuinely enjoy abusing women. Yeah. So I would pay a lot more attention to like who I work with if I'm working with somebody in that regard. And I'm even now so selective with who I work with in that regard.
Shane, would you mind if I went into that game real quick? Because she brought it up.
Yeah. I thought that's where we're going.
Oh, okay. We do a game called SAK on this show. SAK. Okay. And what that stands for is shit animals kids. Okay. When we initially started doing this show, we spoke to Sara Jay, porn legend, AVN Hall of Famer, this and that. And she told us early on, I will never do an anal scene. And we go, okay, well, what if you were offered blah, blah. Doesn't matter. She's not interested. She's been offered 5 digits to do an. It's not what she likes. It's not her preference. She's out of it. So then we would try and bring this same question to other girls, and they would, you know, what is something you would never do on camera? And inevitably, girls would be like, "Well, I wouldn't eat shit." And we were like, "Yeah, we know. That one we established." And they'd be like, "Well, I wouldn't like fuck an animal." And we go, "Yeah, if you would, I would have to leave this room right now." So. Shit, animals, and kids. Those are your automatics. Those are gone. Okay.
So I actually used to do stuff in the first category.
Oh boy, did you?
I did. So I never ate it. I never did anything like that. But I would encourage myself going to the restroom and then sending it to people.
Wow. See, that's.
Like occasionally like just sitting back on it, but that's something now that's one of those fetishes. Like I said, I cater to a lot of different things that my price point for that is astronomically high. But if somebody is willing to pay it, I have like very specific rules to like how I go about doing it. It goes, no, I don't like really advertise. It doesn't go anywhere near my face. And it's pretty limited to like, you basically just get to watch me do it. And then like, I'll like show it off to you. Kind of.
What do you catch it in a net or something? How does that?
No, like just like on a plate. Sometimes dead ass, just like on a plate, or like just squatting on top of the toilet. Like it's literally some people like just want to watch you do it.
Now they want to see the process in action.
I as soon as she was like one of those 3 I do, I was like, this is gonna be the next fucking. This is fuck the game. We got to talk about this. Is this something you actually enjoy, or is it part of business? There's some stuff about my day job I like, and there's some shit is fucking part of the job, and I have to do it.
It's definitely something for me that's just kind of like part of the job. Like I have, you know, like I said, a lot of different fetishes I do. Like puke fetish. I love that one. Wow. That one I have so much fun with. Love that. But the poop has always just kind of been like, if somebody can offer me a high enough number, I'll film myself doing it, I guess.
Sure.
So what are the boundaries with the puke one? So is it like is it strictly like puke from throat work, or is it like no, I'll just make myself puke and then, I'll bathe in it. Like what are the puke
Both.
boundaries? Oh, okay.
Both with that one. Yeah, so with that one kind of started as just like with toys and then like making myself do it. And then it evolved into like somebody was like, I want you to do it, but like I want you to do it on a specific pair of socks and like play in it. And then that just became something that like I do on Lover Fans. And when I do actually do it, like I said, I'm so burnt out right now, but because I've been shooting a lot, but like, when I do it, I have a lot of fun with it. And there's a surprising amount of companies that do it. They just don't ever put it in their trailers, I've noticed.
So I was going to ask you, you've said you like, slapping and then vomiting. Now there's a site that no girl ever wants to talk about, ever, especially when they've shot for it in the past. I'm not defending.
I feel like I know what it is, and I'm already so excited.
I know you know what it is. What are the initials of the two words in it?
Does it happen to start with an F? I just shot with them.
Really?
Wow,
they were like a bucket list company for me.
For people who don't know, we're talking about facialabuse.com. Go ahead. Yeah.
And you know what? I just want to say that, this could vary for everybody, but
totally.
My own personal experience on set with them was more professional than some mainstream sets I've been on.
Wow.
Everybody treated me with complete respect. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm more of a mainstream performer and I'm more likely to talk about it if they, do something or what, but like my experience with them was very pleasant. It was very positive. And like the shoot itself was so much fun.
So Shane hates when I have to explain this, but I have an affinity for that website, not even because I necessarily love the content. In high school, we had the girl in the next high school over who turned 18 senior year and then went and shot with facial abuse. So I which will actually lead into a good question for you, but I think of that site and I think of like the excitement of being a fucking high school kid and oh my God, that girl did it. That girl shot. Yeah. Oh my God. Now we have to see
what her pussy looks like.
So let me ask you, have you had friends from before porn who either abandoned you or who are now more engaged? Are you getting messages from, because how old are you? Can I ask that?
I'm 25.
Okay, so you're 25. So do you have guys from high school who hit you up ever or no?
I definitely used to. Like I have one guy I used to work with. I wish I could pull it up because I have the message. It was so funny, but he was like, I hope this isn't weird, but I love your videos. It fulfilled a lot of fantasies for me. This dude has a wife and kids, and he was messaging me this. And like, I was getting a lot of messages from people when I first started, and they were like, do you go by the name RileyJean by chance? Or like, send me my videos and ask if it was me. And then it would move into my OnlyFans, where it would be like people who I used to go to school with. And like, I was horribly bullied. So they would be like asking me for customs, or they're like girls would message me and ask me for advice on like how to start. And my response was always like, either pay me or fuck off, because you treated me like shit in high school. I think like I remember I made a post on Facebook, and this is kind of how I like admitted to it, but I was like, in high school I always wanted to be the girl who got hundreds of likes on her pictures, and now I have millions of views on the hub. So don't let your dreams be dreams.
There's an equivalency there. Somebody having their first kid and putting that out and getting 100 likes, and you over here are puking into a napkin and getting 1 million.
Sitting on a plate of shit.
It was one of those things that I think like I've always wanted to be liked. So in high school, I always wanted to be liked. And, I never was, for one reason or another, I was really poor. I grew into the way I look at a very late age. I always wanted to be liked. So even when I started doing, because I didn't start doing podcasts until the last 3 months.
Okay.
And, I talked to my PR guy about it, and I was like, I'm terrified to do these because, like, I'm okay if people don't like my body or if people don't like the way I have sex or whatever. Who gives a shit about that? I'm terrified people aren't going to hear me and be like, I don't like her personality.
Oh, no. I see. What's great about porn too? Yeah. I mean, most people don't like our personality, but what's great about porn too is so many different niches. So you are the way you are, but it also kind of applies to personality too. Yes, there's going to be some people who listen to this and go, I fucking don't like this chick at all. And there's going to be some people who are just like, that girl reminds me of the girl I had a crush on in high school. It's the same type. She may have got bullied and this and that, and then later on she kind of fucking retook her power and everything else like that. I'm into this chick. I'm gonna start looking into her and everything else. Sorry if calling you a chick bothers you. I didn't mean to.
You're fine. All
right, you're a cool chick. Anyway, so do you think, all right, have you always been very like sexually what is the term? No. Okay. Do you think that was born out of some of the bullying?
I think it was honestly more like, so when I started doing porn, I was cast as a teen. I was constantly the stepdaughter, the step niece, or the fucking step sister. I was always the step something. And it was always very vanilla. And I was having suddenly a lot more sex than I was having in my personal life. And I got very desensitized to what I was doing, to the point where it was like, yes, I could put on a performance for the camera, but like in my own personal life, I was just so goddamn bored. And that led to me going the complete opposite route, which was the more extreme stuff and getting more into kink and like, BDSM and all of that, bringing other stuff in. And I realized, I like this. I want to incorporate this. This is so much more enjoyable to me. And then it led to even further, like, looking into different, fetishes and learning about them and why they exist and all of this stuff. And I think I just, I lost my virginity because I was scared of the way my vagina looked. So like I was very just sexually shy.
Oh, Shane, if you haven't seen it, it has teeth.
Yeah. No, can you elaborate? What does that mean? You lost it just so you could get an opinion, like, how's it?
No, just so I could get it over with, like, just so I it would be done, because I have like, I lived in a really small town and I constantly heard people saying like, roast beef pussy, blah, 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 like this, that, and other. And that's what I have. And so I always felt really fucking bad about it. And like somebody was going to judge me. So I was like, I just need to sleep with somebody and get it over with. And lo and behold, nobody said a goddamn thing to me about it.
No.
Yeah, that's like, on that roast beef.
People like it.
Sure. I was so embarrassed about my 13-inch dick that I also had the same thing. I was just kind of like, you gotta get it out there. And the first woman I split in half, well, that's good.
First woman you log jammed.
Yeah. So now, did that give you? I mean, did doing porn? Do you get negative comments ever? You have to. Everyone does, right?
Honestly, no. I've not that I've seen, nothing that's like I had somebody tell me once, you look so much less autistic with your new hair, and that to me just cracked. Like I thought that was funny. Hilarious. I didn't even take that as an insult. I just thought that was like really funny.
Oh man, if I were you, I would have got a fucking Simple Jack haircut the next day.
Yeah. I don't even think I changed my hair. I think I might have dyed it black.
Oh no!
Or got, I don't think I did anything to it, but I was like, "Damn, that's good." And then I realized, like, "Oh, you took a shower. You're clean."
what a fucking rude comment from a 400-pound guy sitting in a basement. That is
a guy who's never fingered a girl. Yeah,
I loved the my thing is if you're going to insult me, please be creative about it, because I've heard it all. I've heard the go kill yourself. I've heard the devils. I've heard whatever.
Give your life to
you
Jesus.
Look so much less autistic with that haircut. Hell yeah. Come at me with stuff like that, because I might talk about you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that compliment. So if you don't want to talk, there's two things I kind of want to edge around, and I don't know if you don't want to talk about them, which is totally fine. You said you developed a problem to anxiety medicine at some point.
Yes.
Are you
Was it
comfortable?
the good kind?
Well, like the what kind?
The good kind.
Oh,
It wasn't like hydroxyzine or just some like antihistamine, right?
No.
She's popping Benadryls in the back of a fucking McDonald's parking lot.
Well, so
Go ahead. Yeah.
what happened was that my first ever photo shoot, I was offered an anti-anxiety medicine because I was really nervous. And so I took it and I tried it. And, that one was kind of like whatever. I was okay. And then I tried the one that I got hooked on because, like, the first time I took it, I just remember every single thought in my head just quieting. And it was fucking great. It was so. Oh, it was until I knew nothing about these drugs until my first withdrawal when I didn't have any. And I had my first ever interview and my first ever podcast. So I don't remember those because I was actively going through fucking withdrawal while I was doing them. Wow. And it wasn't until my friend gave me one of her medications that I put two and two together because I felt better. And I was like, shit. So I started to research it a little bit and just to understand it better. And, I made the stupid mistake of thinking, well, if I understand it and I can manage it, then I'll be fine. Wrong. No, that's not how that works. And yeah, I was in rehab for it. And I really want to stress this point because this was something they said to me at rehab and I think was just incorrect. And they were like, do you think your job is the reason that you have this problem? No. I don't. I think I could have developed this problem at a McDonald's. Sure. I think that, I was a 22-year-old adult who knew every single risk having grown up with addict parents and still said yes. I do not blame porn for that. And I always want to make that clear every time it comes up because it's so quick for people to take your words and spin them and be like, porn did this. Porn did not do this. Sure. I just happened to have been, predisposed to addiction and found the one thing that my brain was like, yes.
So do you still get anxiety going into shoots now? And you just know how to process it better, learn how to deal with it, stuff like that?
So I'm now correctly medicated for my anxiety. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. So I'm not self-medicating anymore. Like I was, I'm managed by a doctor and watched by a doctor and, kept up on that. But I think now I've just been doing it for so long that it's kind of I don't know, there's not really any, there's that initial anxiety if you're going on set and you've never worked with the crew or the talents and you're like, fuck dude, who are all these people? But that goes away pretty quickly,
because the setting's familiar.
On a sales floor and a bunch of new guys are there and you see them training in the background all day, but at the end of the day you got sales to make. You got to get to work. You might notice them here and there, but you're a professional.
Yeah. So it doesn't really get to me like it used to, but I think part of that is because I've sort of framed it as I've gotten older, it's easier for me to just recognize this is just a job. Sure. It's just a job. It's just the same as showing up to McDonald's or, anywhere else.
But are you passionate about it more than you would be a regular job?
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I love, and I've always said this, I love the creative side of it. I love the, you're making a form of art. And I think that's probably why I kind of got so bored with all of the cliches because there's nothing really new in that. I like the things that are more weird or experimental or require you to sort of step out of a comfort zone or anything like that. Just
that's an odd dichotomy, isn't it? I don't know if that's the right word. Where you have this anxiety, even just stepping onto a normal set initially, and now you are fighting that in a sense by going, how uncomfortable can I make myself? Going into an extreme situation, I don't know. Maybe I would just be more uncomfortable. Maybe you're more comfortable going into those situations. And if you are, why is that?
I think I've always it's odd because I've always found comfort in things that are not familiar. Mm-hmm. It's when things become familiar that I start to get uncomfortable, and I get very it's why I'm a very self-destructive person. If anything starts to go well, or anything starts to go bad, it doesn't matter. But if anything is too consistent, I start to freak out. Whereas if something is consistently new, and I think this just goes to having horrible ADHD, if something is new and inventive and different, I love it. I want to try it. I want to not even push myself to be uncomfortable, but just fuck, it's new. I want to be a part of that. That's so cool.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
It's I'm a dopamine rush. I'm constantly chasing.
I get now. Do you like just learning about shit in general? And do you ever get consumed with it? I'll go on Wikipedia and just fucking read just nothing. How does electricity work? Okay. All right. Let's just fucking, and it's my ADHD brain too. Yeah.
I did that with a Serbian film. I went down a year-long spiral because I saw the movie, did not have any forewarning about what the movie was, and then was immediately hell-bent on understanding why the fuck somebody would create that. And then learning about the why and the how was so fascinating. I was so fixated on this I was making people watch this movie, not really registering that they're not gonna go into the backstory. They're just gonna see this horror.
Sure.
But then I was no, you have to know why they made it. And they're I don't give a shit. This movie's horrible.
I do the same thing with beheading films, so I know exactly what you're talking about. I like to dig a little deeper and figure out why are the infidels there and this and that. Get that. So going back 20 minutes to SAC, shit animals and kids take shit out. We'll just call it ACK. What is something that, regardless of the dollar amount set, you just are I'm not really interested in doing that? And then the inverse, what is something where maybe you would go, my rate is here, and they go, well, for this fetish scene, blah, 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 we're only offering this much. You would still be yeah, I'll take it because that interests me a lot.
The one thing I won't do, and I wouldn't even do this on facial abuse. I will not eat my own puke.
Okay. Okay. Congratulations.
Even if it's just but it's funny because it was just water. Right. And they were most girls do all the girls no, most girls have no problem with this. I refuse to do it. You could not offer me enough money to do it. Once it comes out, it stays out. That is my rule. And it's a weird one because it's you couldn't pay me enough to do it.
Sure. Totally fair.
What about someone else's puke?
No.
Is that worse? What's worse? Someone else's puke or your own puke?
I think my own, to be honest. Because I have way too much knowledge of all right, I consumed this, I digested this is that outside my body. Yeah. I don't know why. I think way too much about it. Whereas if it's somebody else, it's I still won't do it, but I don't think about it. There's not as much thought going in my head. You know
what's in that bowl is not good for your body, but maybe their bowl over there, maybe there's some good quality nutrients to it. Who knows?
I don't know what's in their bowl. But the thing is, I will never know what's in their bowl.
That's fair. Yeah, I think that's a fair point. I also don't eat puke. What is a fetish or maybe a scene you haven't even shot yet, or a type of scene or anything like that? What is on the horizon where, again, if the rates weren't even right, you obviously know your value and everything like that, but you still would probably go, yeah, I'll take that. Give me that. I'll take that.
Oh, God. That's really hard because there's not a lot that I'm I guess the only real thing I could think to say, and it's only because it's something that I really don't want to do, but I feel would be a genuinely good video, is a tickling fetish. I hate being tickled. I will start crying. I will piss myself. It is not a good time. I don't like being tickled at all. I would be interested to see how long I could like do it for. Like I would still charge a lot more than I think the average, but I would be open to trying it. It's just one that like I'm so sensitive. Like I'm hypersensitive everywhere, so being tickled is just like fucking torture for me.
Totally. Yeah.
Let me ask you, have you ever shot any gangbang scenes?
Yeah, I did.
Most amount of guys?
Probably the last one I did. I think there was one, two, I want to say there was 7 or 8 there.
Wow. Okay. Impressive.
Cool.
Here's my question for that. Which type of gangbang scene do you prefer? Do you prefer where you are the center of attention and these 7 or 8 men are there to satisfy you in a, rough gangbangy type of way? Or do you kind of like being the toy on set?
The object.
Not on set, on camera,
If I had to pick, I would say like I kind of like being the toy, just like, but I've found I don't like gangbangs.
Really?
They're not I get very overwhelmed and very overstimulated, and it just takes a lot out of me. So I don't prefer them. I've never like done a blow bang or anything like that. That might be easier and like less thought, but like gangbangs are I'm not a fan of that.
You've done somewhat of a blow bang, right? Didn't you shoot for Glory Hole Secrets? Yeah.
That
one I had a lot of fun with. I was like snorting cum.
I thought you were going to go a darker route. I was like snorting. I was going to go, don't say coke, don't say coke, don't say coke.
I feel like I watched that. I feel like I've seen that before.
She had orange hair, I believe. I do my research.
I did.
Yeah.
Maybe we watched it together.
I don't think we watched it together, but it's possible. So fuck, I forgot where I was going to go with that. Anyway, here's what I'm going to edge around, and you tell me if you don't want to discuss it, even though you kind of put it online. But again, if you don't want to,
I
totally
put everything online, man.
Okay, that's fair. Dating within the industry.
It was hard.
Do you talk about that or no?
So I talk about it a little bit because I like to respect, even though they didn't fucking respect me, I like to respect my exes. My last 2 boyfriends have been in porn. Both of them.
By the way, if you need a drink of water or something, totally, you can go get it. You for a second, you went like this. Oh, my boyfriend. I was like, oh.
Like you did the 1-2 challenge.
I have like tea and stuff in front of me.
Whatever you want to do.
You're cold.
Okay.
So I have a cold.
Yeah, I'm not judging you. I just would hate if you were trying to power through like, and I was like, Riley needs to be sexy all the time. I'm like, okay, grandma, take a breather. Yeah.
You just got to get puked for the day. That's all.
Sure.
Someone's got to burp her. Yeah.
So dating within the industry. The last 2 guys you dated, you said were in the industry?
Yeah. So the first guy, we were together for a few years, and then I found out he had a wife, and we split up.
Wow.
That was rough. The second guy, I would say, was honestly arguably worse. Just the breakup. The breakup put me on such a bad bender that I ended up in rehab.
Okay.
It was just, he put all this online. From like, I'm going to kill myself to he put my address online, and he was messaging me saying he was going to kill me. And it was, then it was like, but then it kept going on until I finally ended it. And the guy I'm with now is also in the industry, and unlike the last 2, he's very supportive of what I do. He knows all sides of what I do and have done, and he accepts me for that, and he doesn't, judge me for it. He's very supportive. He's very encouraging, and he understands that it's just a job and it's not like this defining thing.
Sure.
So, but I will say I don't think that that's a common thing, and I don't recommend dating in the industry.
Totally.
Well, that made me want to ask. So, do you guys? I mean, from the outside perspective, okay, I'm just some fucking, shit kicker somewhere. I go, well, they both work in the industry. That means they ain't got no boundaries and blah, 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 everything else. Do you guys have boundaries? Do you have rules? Do you have things set up? Where is it like he can do what he needs to do on set, but if he's texting other girls at home, anything like that, you're a little, okay, go ahead. Sorry. I try and put words into people's mouths.
No, so it's really just like, we are very open with each other. We communicate with each other. We are monogamous outside of porn. So it's not like we're like just, woo, free throwing it out there. Like outside of work, we don't sleep with other people unless it's like a threesome that we want to do or something. But when it comes when it comes to work, one thing that we do is like after a shoot, we go out together and we go out to eat. Nice. And we just like spend time with each other. And I think that really helps security, because it's impossible to not get insecure when your partner is sleeping with, of either gender, attractive people and people who you can see and go online and like compare yourself to.
Sure.
So, so we go out to dinner afterwards, and like if one of us is insecure, we just talk about it. And but yeah, we have like boundaries and stuff,
Sure.
When it comes to collabing with people. It's not like I've told him like professionally, you approach them professionally, don't comment under pictures and be like, oh, you're hot as fuck. Like if I saw that, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, dude, are you kidding me? Like that's not a professional way to go about wanting to work with somebody. That looks just like you want to fuck them. Now you want to work with them. Like
totally.
Is there any influence either way in terms of you? I don't know if you've ever had any bad run-ins with any female performers or anything, but is there anything like maybe he may be working with someone that you don't like and you're kind of like, ugh, okay, well, have fucking fun with her. Not that you'll carry it on forever, but I don't know. You seem like a friendly person. Do you get in a lot of fights in the industry? Because that would be funny. Oh, okay.
Actually, no, only with one girl.
Oh, God, I won't ask. I desperately want to know. And did it come to scraps? Did you start throwing fists?
No, okay, so I was in a TTS one time in Florida, and this girl like comes up behind me and starts screaming, and it took me a second to register what was happening, but I learned at a very young age what my fight or flight was. And so my ex, he like saw what was happening, and he saw what I was about to do, and he grabbed my wrist and like pulled me into the room and like shut the door in her face, and she was out there still screaming, and I'm like, I almost just hit that bitch. And then there was another time where a girl was like, I'm gonna kill you in your sleep. And so I was like, then fight me.
Sure.
Like,
who are these people? I mean, you don't have to say
stars.
names, but these are professionals, right? These are
depends how you define professional.
Yeah.
But like my instances of drama in the industry, I've pretty much always brought straight to a head, where I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and fight with you like this. And I think a lot of it comes from the fact that like I'm a lot older than some of the girls who I end up working with and dealing with.
Okay.
Like I'm 25 and I'm dealing with 18, 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And I kind of have to remind myself of that. Like, okay, these are children. They're still like,
yeah. They're adult children.
Adult children. Yeah, don't say children. Yep. They're adults, but childish adults. Yeah.
They're childish. And I have to remind myself of that, but also like I do have to just kind of admit to the fact that like I'm a petty as fuck person. Sure. I always have been.
Us
but
too.
but like I don't know, I really keep to myself. Up until my boyfriend now, I never went to any like industry events. He brought me to my first one, which was Exotica in Chicago.
Sure.
And that was the first time I had ever gone to like an industry event, because they just scared me. I didn't come out to LA until March, even though I started at porn in 2020, because I was so scared of like the drama that I heard was out here. I just didn't want a part of it, because like I'm a very high strung person.
I guess you're deaf. I totally get it. Yeah, so am I. I totally get it. There was something I was going to say along those lines. Oh, also, you have to consider this. So you're 25 and you look at these people who are younger. I assume you take a lot of that professionalism with you into working with older people then, because if you're this annoyed at 25 at an 18-year-old, when you're 35 looking at a 25-year-old, you might be like, this bitch don't know anything, man. Like, what does she do? Just and then you're the one coming down the hallway screaming, "What? I'm trying to get tested here."
I have that thought even now, where
Sure.
like I have some of these younger girls asking me for advice, and I will literally preface it by saying, like, look, when I was your age and someone told me this shit, it was the most annoying fucking thing, but it's true. So do what you will with it. Like, it's weird now kind of being that person that's like, I too was once your age and you should be doing something different.
Yeah. I'm 35, so I look at you and I'm like, oh God, that was so long ago. All the references I want to make and stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, she wasn't born yet, so you really can't pull that one out.
She wasn't born when I was 9. Yeah.
Now I do have a question, and it was one of your scenes that I didn't study. I just pulled up and looked at it, but one of the things you said a second ago was that you don't do age play. Now, what goes into that? You won't say you're a certain age, or you won't play. Okay. Now, are we talking 18, 19, or guys that want it way younger and illegal or borderline?
I don't say that. The youngest I've said is 19 because he paid high price, but the youngest that I tell anybody is 21.
Okay. All right, that's fair.
I will happily dress up however you want me to dress up, but if I am saying an age, it is 21.
I've asked this of a few girls, women, chicks, and my question is this. I don't think so, but that's just because I'm like a freedom guy. But if you think it's different, I respect that too. Do you think 18 should be the minimum age or minimum age for porn? No. And you know what? Here's the thing. Yeah, I see you're a little reluctant. You're scared some 19-year-old lady's going to beat you up. Or no. Okay.
I've said this multiple times recently on podcasts. The last podcast I did, the guy was shocked that I said it.
Wow. Okay.
I also don't think you should be able to go into the military at that age, though. I don't think you should, like, if you can't smoke, if you can't drink, you shouldn't be able to make these huge life-altering decisions with your body. I just don't think that you should do. These are things you can't take back. Once you're enlisted, you're enlisted. You're there for however many years. Once you do porn, that video's out there forever. I think you need to have some life experience. And I know people will say, I've been through so much and I have all the life experience in the world. Guess what? So did I. And I said the same thing at 18. And if I started porn at 18, I would have been fucked.
And you're of the understanding now that you do not have anywhere near the life experience at 25 that you'll have at 30 or 35, right?
Yeah, that's another thing is like, there's still so much to learn and there's still so much to go that like, I don't know. I mean, if I have the chance, I typically will try to not work with people who are under 21. I've been booked with people who are 19. It's whatever. But like, I really try to make sure that if I am working with somebody that age, that they at least have like a good head on their shoulders, because I just feel creepy, like I feel kind of like, it's terrible and it's to, no fault of anybody's, but like girls who look super young, if I get booked with them, I won't do it because it's like, dude, I'm sorry. You just look like so fucking young. I can't get like girls my age. Some of them look like they're fucking 15 and I just can't do it.
Is it because you're just not attracted to them, or is it because you don't like kind of the implications? Yeah, what's coming out of it, or the guys watching it, thinking a certain thing, or
it's a mix of all of it. I think a lot of it kind of just goes into like my own head though, and knowing that like if I want to put on the best performance that I could put on, I need to do so with people who I'm comfortable working with, and I'm not going to be comfortable working with somebody who I look at and see like a little sister who's actually getting ready for her first year of fucking high. Like I can't.
Yeah.
Like it just, I see girls like that. I'm like, I just want to hug you and like, I don't know, like. It's this weird thing where I'm like, I can't get past it in my head. Like, you just look so tiny and small. I can't do it.
Yeah. You know what though? That's what's so cool about this industry. Women have a lot of the power nowadays, especially with OnlyFans, where you can just kind of do the content you want to do and not necessarily feel like, well, I got to shoot this with this 18-year-old chick with braces who's wearing pigtails because I got to pay my rent. You know, you have the opportunity to do other stuff. Shane, I got one more age question. I will let you go if you have something age related, but I don't want to jump away from it and jump back. Would you mind if I ask?
No, I don't go. I don't have anything age related. I'm just absorbing that because I'm like the opposite. Where like if I'm age playing, I want to go up. Like, you know, walk around with a cane and act like you're back.
Well, thank you for the beautiful segue. Can I ask what the oldest performer you've ever worked with on camera is?
Ed Towers.
Okay. Do you know how old he was?
He was like 70 something at the time.
Okay. See,
I think.
okay. So maybe I was wrong on that.
There was too much higher on that peak to get, you know, like you're pretty high ranking on the age scale there. That's nice.
Well, she likes to work up, not down, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was I thought I saw one where maybe it was just the title of it with like a 90-year-old dude. No?
Oh,
maybe they just pretended he was 90.
Yeah.
I guess maybe Steve Holmes was older. I worked with him.
Okay. All right.
I definitely nobody who's 90.
Okay. I was gonna say, what was it like to kill a person? So Ed Powers is 68. Do you have what is your ideal age to shoot with for a male performer?
100.
I feel like 40s is a pretty solid age range. They're always, for the most part, professional on set. They are there because it's their job. And I find people my age are more like touchy feely and like want like fluffing or whatever, which isn't my thing. Whereas guys in that age group just kind of do their shit and go. They're like, they got stuff to do afterwards. They're not there to like.
You got to pick their kids up from soccer.
Yeah, like they're not there to hit on you or trying to like pick you up or anything. They're there to work.
So that's kind of interesting. You said one thing in there, and we've talked to all kinds of girls who've been out of the industry for years, who shot in the early 2000s and 90s, and newer girls, and then girls who saw both, right? There was a bit of a sea change from what we've gathered, where you said guys would want fluffing on the set. So you're of the belief like, hey, you're a performer, get your dick hard, right? Is that what I got from you? Or like we talked to another performer who goes, yeah, nowadays they don't really do that. But if a guy needed me to like touch his nipples or do this or something to get him to work, like I'm trying to get to work, you know?
I used to, but to be honest, now it's just for me. It's like I have to use lube to get my fucking pussy. Why? Like you're not helping me with shit with that. Like what? And also, it's kind of like, but it's not what I'm getting paid to do. Okay. It's not. I don't know. It's just. It used to be a thing I did and I was okay with, but now I think it's just. When I'm on set, I'm like so professional that it's like, well, that's not professional.
That feel, yeah, right. Yeah, even though maybe it makes the day go quicker or faster or whatever, and maybe the guy's not totally rude, that's still not your job. Yeah,
kind of, yeah. Like if respectfully, if you're struggling, like there are things that help you to aid in your ability to stay hard.
Sure. Yeah. Watch porn. Sure. Yeah. No, I think she meant like, pills, which we are not sponsored by Blue Chew. I'm looking for a sponsorship. Go ahead.
I would never, ever, ever tell somebody that they have to do that. But, there are going to be people like me who don't want to fluff you, and you're going to have to be okay with that. Like, if you want a surefire way that your scenes don't fail, they make it. I'm not sitting here saying like that has to be and that's the only right way to do it. It's not. And I understand not wanting to, because Lord knows I know the havoc that shit wreaks on your body. My ex took it, and he did it for years and years and years and years. And, sometimes you come blood.
It happens.
Like I understand the fear, and I would never tell somebody to do it, just like I would hope nobody would ever tell me I need to suck their dick to get them hard.
Fair enough. Shane, do you want to ask your question, which I think has been probably answered?
Yeah, we already know that you're down for piss play, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, she's a keeper. Yeah.
She's a winner.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions, Shane?
Oh no, that's my favorite question.
I know it is. That's why I was good at that. So, one last question here. You are a self-proclaimed throat god, according to your username. What qualifies you as a throat god and not something lesser like a throat princess or a throat prime minister? I wrote that earlier today.
I have this thing when it comes. So first of all, I was really stoned when I came to the username, and I was like, yeah, that's fucking cool. Everyone's a throat goat. Fuck that. But also, I really like giving head, and it's something that I've not gotten any complaints about. I've only gotten very good compliments, so it was something that I felt comfortable with using, because it was like, I mean, if you go and look at the clip I just put on Twitter today with slut inspection, the dude's deep throating me. I had to hold my head there for like 20 seconds. Absolutely could have done it longer, but his wife said something and I started fucking laughing, so we had to pull back.
Our first porn star interview was with Dan and Suzanne.
That one.
Yeah.
Imagine
they're great.
Imagine complaining about getting head.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, I'm sure you're wonderful at it and you're great at it, but imagine a guy. Oh, I guess guys that are in the industry might be like, "Oh, that sucked." Not me.
What is it? 1% of 1% of 0.5% of people are in the industry.
Be fucking surprised. Okay, even outside of the industry, if you're not sucking dick right, they will let you know.
Oh, not me. I'm too much of a gentleman.
Oh my god!
I'll just tell my friends about it later.
Why I know how to suck dick is because I've been criticized so heavily from like, okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. It's like, this is how. So then I just started studying porn from like. I've always studied porn to like learn how to do everything.
When did you first start watching porn?
Can I actually say it?
Yeah, you can say it, sure.
I mean, I was exposed to it at a very, very, very early age. But when I like actively started watching it like myself, I was probably 11 or 12.
Okay, here's what I'm always interested in. Yeah, Shane and I beat you on that one. That's okay though. We're dudes.
I think I'm earlier than that.
Oh, mine was a year earlier than whatever you want to say. That's
mine was in
fucking
the womb.
Rule. Yeah, I was in the womb looking at fucking gangbangs and shit. BBC too. Here's my question to you, and I always want to know this. Did you have favorite female performers? Or was it just whatever porn came across the dial?
Well, so first, the problem is I did have favorites. I don't remember their names.
Okay.
I remember like one of their names, Carter Cruz.
Carter Cruz, sure.
Her like old stuff I really like, but her mainstream stuff is mainstream, but like her old shit is so fucking good. One of my favorite porn I have bookmarked is literally one of her videos. Mm-hmm. I saw it once and it took me years to find it again. And now I have that shit saved. But like I tend to watch a lot of porn on like Motherless, so a lot of
nice,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That's the shit I like. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one where I go like, well, do I have my VPN active? Yeah, let's go to an incognito window here.
Oh yeah, I remember this one motherless clip, dude, where this chick was like crying as she scooped a cream pie out of herself. And I remember thinking like, wow, this is really good acting, you know?
I've been in contact with like some of the companies that I've watched like a ton, and I'm like, I want to fucking work. Like, it's a bucket list thing for me, literally, just like facial abuse was. It was like not even that I wanted to shoot with them. I just wanted to say that I've done it and have like the pictures with the little fucking logo and be like, yes, I did this.
So let me, I see your wonderful Brazzers shirt there. By the way, Team Skeet, when we did your Christmas special last year, you never sent us any merch. That's okay. I still respect it. So
sent me merch.
Fuck you. You don't do anything.
They looked me up online and they sent me some shit.
Oh, okay, good. So you did Glory Hole Secrets. Does that mean you wouldn't do the sister site to them, Gangbang Cream Pie?
I already did.
You did. Oh, well,
yeah,
then.
It's just not out yet.
All right, gonna have to download that one. Okay, wonderful to hear.
That was like my first real gangbang that I did, like on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so fun. I don't know when that's coming out, but I'm excited for when it does.
But that one, okay, so you say you don't, but how was your anxiety during that one? Because that one feels that site feels very clinical. It's like, here's a metal table.
Okay.
It's like, okay, you'll be on one like this at the end of your life too.
Before it starts, you're sitting in a chair and they're all surrounding you and asking you different questions. That was like the most fucking nerve-wracking part for me because I felt like I was giving a presentation.
Sure. Where's my PowerPoint? Yeah, I get it.
It was so professional. Like I was like doing a job interview or something. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, holy shit, like I'm terrified for this to start. Like my anxiety is so high. And like, the last gangbang I did, it was just you get in there, bang bang boom, done. This one was like you sit down, you talk to all of them, and they talk to you, and like then there's that table that they have, and like.
Here's my question: do they discuss who's going to go first and who's going to go last, or is it by chance? Because
it's by chance.
Okay, I am not homophobic. I would hate to be last.
I would ask for the last.
Yeah, Shane would ask for a bowl and a spoon at the end of it. Yeah. Because I assume the first guy is great. You know, it's awesome. And the second guy, you're kind of like, well, it's a job. And the last guy, you're just kind of like, man, why couldn't I have been the first guy? That's how I picture it. So but I'm a square. I'm vanilla.
I dissociate a lot in my scenes, so I could be completely incorrect in this. But if I'm remembering correctly, they have it to where they want them all to sort of do it at the same time. So it's not like somebody's first and somebody's last. It's fitting them all in there at once. And then it all comes out.
Sure.
So I guess I see your point a little bit more in not wanting to be last, especially in that. But like they do have guys where they know like can do it on command, and like so they'll put them in a certain spot when like they know that they need him.
There's so much pre-production that goes into shooting porn. Yeah. When I was getting C's in film school, I thought to myself, fuck it, I'll just go do porn. Who cares? I couldn't. I don't think I would be good enough.
Like at what part?
Just at the organization. I don't know. I can email your PR guy and go, hey, I'd like to talk to Riley. She seems really awesome. Blah, 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 blah. I can set up schedules and, Google Calendar and this and that. But to go like, all right, this guy can pop on command. This guy can do this. I could figure out the camera angles. I don't know if I could do the human interaction so much. I'd probably be hanging around you being like, isn't this fucking scary? All these inner guys talking to you and stuff. And you'd be like, you're the director. You should be more professional. I'd go, I know, right? This is fucked. We're really fucked here. Yeah.
We're screwed.
I don't know. All right. Well, we don't want to hold you up any longer. We want to cut something real quick here, but I have to remind people, please go check out Riley here on Twitter and OnlyFans at ThroatGodX. Switch out the O's with zeros, or switch out the put zeros where the O's should be. I don't know. This is
instead of O's.
This is like computer programmer talk. I don't know. I don't speak like nerd, so I can't do that quite. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you want to know my Instagram handle?
Is it RileyJean X3?
Do you get it? No.
RileyJean.
It's a math pun. Instead of XX.
Oh yeah, sure. Yes, I get that. You could have also. Could you have done? I'm real bad at math too. Could you have done X and then 3, meaning like X to the power of 3?
Well, then that would be X times X times X.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, that's more X's in the middle. If you do X times X, that's a whole bunch.
Yeah. I think it means you get X amount of X's.
Actually, if you did X2, it would be X times X.
Whatever, dude.
Fucking math problems here. Anyway, Throat God X, replace the O's with zeros. And on Instagram, check out RileyJean X3. Not 3 X's, not RileyJean XXX, RileyJean X3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to us today. Riley, thank you very much for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me.
For Your Worst Friend, I'm Matt.
I'm Shane.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.